Hey there, friends! I was down at Star Wars Celebration on Thursday, and unfortunately, I couldn't stay any longer than one day, which I'm pretty bummed about. But my one day at Celebration was amazing. The enthusiasm was incredible. I got to see Doug Chang's panel. The exhibits were fantastic. And as I was walking out like so close to the exit about to head home, I spotted a fellow Star Wars YouTuber, Dash Star. He was with another YouTuber, Geekdom 101. It was such a cool interaction. I yelled Mitch, which is Dash's real name. He turned around and of course he had no idea who the hell I was. And then I shook his hand and said, "Hey man, HelloGreedo." And his reaction was priceless. It was fun. Anyway, it was great meeting you, Dash and Geekdom 101. You guys keep up the great work. The Last Jedi trailer is here. And man, oh man, this trailer is perfect in its mystery. It's slow and steady. It reveals nothing, which is the number one thing that I want in a trailer. Just a little sip, a little taste, a little appetizer before the main course. So in the beginning of the trailer, we hear lines of dialogue by Luke, and it seems pretty obvious that he's training Rey. He says, "Breathe, just breathe. Now reach out. What do you see?" And Rey replies, "Light, darkness, the balance." And then Luke says the line that really rattled my brain. He says, "It's so much bigger." Whoa, it's so much bigger. Now, for a long time I've been saying that I want them to explore the gray area of the Force, not the black and white, dark and light. My first reaction to this line is that Luke, as a lowly hermit, has been in his own mind, meditating perhaps, pondering, exploring the true nature of the Force internally for all these years or for however long he's been out there. The line of "it's so much bigger" makes me really excited for where Rian Johnson, the director, is taking the story. Rian is a fantastic writer and director. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch his movie Looper. That movie, his directing style, his writing style, is why I am so thrilled that he's the director of Episode 8. So has Luke discovered a new side? Or maybe a better way to put it is, has Luke gained a new perspective on the Force? Is he aiming to get rid of the rigid ideologies of both sides? Or maybe, and I'm kind of jumping ahead in the trailer here to the last line of dialogue, where Luke says, "It's time for the Jedi to end." That line is pretty chilling, and I love it. I don't know how to quite process it, but from the perspective of teasing the audience, holy hell, does it get any better than that? Leaving us with a line of dialogue that seems like everything we know could be shattered. Our hero, Luke Skywalker, might not be who we all thought he was going to be. It's time for the Jedi to end. Man, I love it. It just gives us so many questions, so many damn questions that I can't wait to be answered. It's time for the Jedi to end. Why? Well, maybe Luke sees that the Jedi aspirations of peace and justice hasn't really worked out too well, and he thinks the best way to defeat evil is to fight dirty, fight fire with fire. Strike first, clean up the mess later. Nobility be damned. But who knows? It's all speculation at this point. But those two lines of dialogue in this trailer, "it's so much bigger" and "it's time for the Jedi to end," those two lines are the definition of teasing an audience. Well played, Rian Johnson. Well played. The visuals in the trailer are very striking. At one point, we see the Jedi Order symbol. I'm not too sure who's touching it. It almost looks like a glove. It could be Rey. There's also a lot of solitary shots of Rey on the island. We see Rey moving some stones. Maybe she's not moving them, but who knows? Which could be a part of her training. If I had to guess, a good chunk of the first half of the movie will be spent with Rey being trained by Luke, and I'm sure we'll cut back to Finn and Poe and the new character who Rose. Rose is the new character. Apparently she's a mechanic with the Resistance. I'm pretty excited to see how she plays into everything. And knowing Rian Johnson, I think the whole training aspect between Luke and Rey is going to be vastly different from other training scenes we've seen before in Star Wars. One of my favorite shots in the trailer is the shot of Rey swinging a lightsaber on the side of the cliff and Luke standing behind her. It's just a beautiful shot, grand in scale, with these two figures standing in solitude, the silhouette of the cliff and the two characters. I love it. And then we see what I originally thought were B-Wings, but they're not. They're definitely inspired by B-Wings, I guess. But they're definitely a new take on them, a new vehicle. They're streaming across the dry lake bed, heading towards what appears to be a line of AT-ATs, which are probably not the classic AT-ATs, but also a modified, a more up-to-date version. We see Finn in what I'm assuming is a medical device, nursing him back to health after his encounter with Kylo at the end of The Force Awakens. And then BB-8 and Poe are running down a corridor in a base or a ship, and then a big hangar explosion. The Falcon, of course, returns in all of its glory. Rey sprinting, holding a lightsaber, is one of my favorite close-up intense shots of this entire trailer. Kylo Ren holding his lightsaber being menacing as always. And then R2-D2, and I'm assuming Luke, watching a structure engulfed in flames. And then we see some A-Wings in a big old beautiful space battle. And after that, Luke says his "it's time for the Jedi to end" line. And we see him standing in the mouth of a cave. A beautiful image. One that looks strikingly similar to a picture I took of my wife on a hike in Bryce Canyon. Pretty awesome. What makes me like this trailer more than the Force Awakens trailer, and I do think I like it more than the Force Awakens trailer, it doesn't really rely on big moments of nostalgia. Yes, it's all one big nostalgia fest. Of course, we needed that with the Force Awakens trailer. We needed to go on a little trip of nostalgia. We needed to all cheer when we saw the Falcon zip through a downed Star Destroyer. And we all needed to cheer when we heard Han say Chewie, we're home. But this, The Last Jedi, this trailer, really kind of stands on its own. It's intriguing. It's mysterious. It is the perfect trailer tease. It looks like the character of Luke Skywalker is gonna get a pretty extreme makeover in terms of development. The two lines that have me intrigued are, as I've said, "it's so much bigger," and "it's time for the Jedi to end." Those two lines have me so excited. Man, I think we're all in for some doom and gloom, and I can't wait. Oh, and that poster, holy shit, that poster is amazing. From the look of the poster, Luke might have some demons he has to battle. The juxtaposition of characters, the red cast across their face, the light of Rey cutting through the middle, it really is a striking image, and it only raises more questions. I'm in. Let me know what you all thought of the trailer in the comments section below. HelloGreedo, out.